everybody? This is TJ Stoops, and I'm here with the legend, the grizzly bear, the nicest person you can know, but don't get on his bad side. Chad, player 286. Chad, let the world know.
Hey, man, thanks for having me on. First off, always love getting together with you. I am Chad, player 286. I have many different nicknames, Sleepy Chad, Mafia Boss, but I like the Big Grizzly Bear the best, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, that one suits you because you're kind of meaning your protective nature. That's what, people don't understand. Us larger humans, we have to scale back our aggressiveness naturally because we scare people.
That's for sure. And you don't want to be the scary one in the dorms because you know they're going to take you out first. You're a target,
Mhm.
especially if you're loud, which I'm not saying you're loud, but
Oh, I know I'm loud. I acknowledge it. I acknowledge it. But okay. So I would like to know your thoughts about red light, green light.
Bro, I still have thoughts about red light, green light. I have nightmares about red light, green light, man. I remember I first met you. I see you in the background there. I met you, red light, green light. First day we talked and we talked about different strategies, using our basketball background, jump
Mhm.
stops, going side, maybe shuffling side by side. Um, I remember counting the beams to think how far it was going to be. I thought it was about 100 yards and how far we needed to get each run,
Mhm.
depending on the time. And then all my planning definitely went out the door whenever we're just whenever our first stop. I didn't even make it to the finish or the start line, and it was like a 20-minute wait. I was like, hold on, we're gonna have to change strategies here a little bit. And I thought I was gonna get out early because man, everything was hurting at the beginning. But then you hit a point where you're just locked in, and I really just disassociated. Basically, I'm like, all right, especially once you get like halfway and then three-quarters away, like I made it this far. We're definitely finishing this.
At one point, did you what point did you finish?
I was actually the next to last group. I was that group where they shortened the music to eliminate people.
Oh.
And they didn't show this. I don't know why they didn't show it on the show, but we finished. So there's probably a group of 20 of us, and we're all celebrating. And then they say, okay, pause. We're going to do a review. And then they took they took their 5-10 minutes, and they're all right. We're going to start again. And then we start celebrating again, and then all of a sudden, everybody around me, except for three people, start exploding. And I like slowly looked down at my chest. I was like, did I just get eliminated?
Wait, you
Because
was part of the Great Squiddie?
yes,
Oh my God.
I was standing in the middle, and I felt like I lost all my friends there, and I thought I got squid because I had ink all over me because people I had all my shoes, I had it everywhere, and luckily I was the one that finished. I thought for sure I finished because I stopped short on purpose. I was like 2 feet away, and then I sprinted and I ran into the doll because I was right in the middle. And when she started spinning, I was like spinning with her. So I was like, "There's
Wow.
no way I got eliminated."
Wow. I had no idea. I wish they would have showed that too because that was, I'd say, one of the main gripes with the contestants. You know,
Well,
that
for
was a big
sure. And,
gripe.
and one of the issues, obviously, they were timing it out, and it was the same time, like about 5 seconds each. But they did a quick one there. And what a lot of people didn't realize, and they said it at the very beginning of the instructions, your feet have to cross. And people were finishing like it was a race, like a sprinter
Like head
putting their chest
down.
across.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their feet were back there, but their chests were made it across. So I felt so bad for those people because that was probably 6-7 hours out there, and
Wow.
they thought they made it, and then just like that, they don't even get to go to the dorms. I saw some of those people the next day in the hotel, and they all were trying to be as positive as possible and wishing me good luck. But I felt so bad for that group, man.
Wow. Wow. I had no idea you was a part of that. That was, if they would have shown that, I think it would show the seriousness of it.
For sure. And I I have a theory that the production thought it was going to take a couple hours, And obviously it took 7 hours. And I think part of that was the people that they had testing the game um, didn't have the willpower that the group that we were with did. And they needed to get down to a certain number, and people just weren't giving up.
Mm.
So I don't know who the test group necessarily was, but we had some tough MFers
Definitely,
in that
definitely.
red light, green light. And anybody that finished red light, green light definitely accomplished something big. And even those groups that really made it to the end, I mean, it was grueling. It was one of the toughest things I've ever done.
And you know what? That is the reoccurring sentence right there. It's the toughest thing I've ever done. And so, like everything was against us, the cold, the time, the standing still for as long as we did.
The shoes.
So many people don't understand how difficult it was, even for an athlete, any former athlete.
Yeah, and there were some military guys in there too, and they were like, this is tougher than training in the military. At least we get breaks, we get water, we get food. I mean, that was intense. And the other thing they didn't show is that stupid drone that would fly over us. Like
I
you're
wish
supposed to
they
be
would
able
have
to
showed
hide.
it.
I mean, it's harder for you and I to hide behind anybody, but you're supposed to be able to hide behind people. And then all of a sudden, a drone starts flying up behind us. We're like, hold on, now we're changing the rules.
Yeah, it wasn't those cheap drones. It was one of those like military grade drones that pushed down all the wind,
Yep.
and it got like 10 degrees colder when it did that.
Yeah, it definitely felt like punishment whenever that thing was near us, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Insane, insane. I just want to let the people make sure the people know how difficult it was. That's it.
Yeah, the what they showed definitely didn't do it justice because
No, I wish they would have shown so much more. I wish they would have. I just seen somebody doing a side shuffle.
yeah, man, I'm glad I stuck with the jump stop, hands in the pockets, jump stop approach. Actually, there was one time that I almost got eliminated where the song ran a little longer, and I saw everybody making up ground, so I started sprinting like this, and I ended up with one of these frozen. So I got lucky because like 15 minutes into that, I was, and like people were like, just you got it. It's gonna start. It's gonna start. And I was really lucky because the guy next to me passed out, and they're like, medic, medic. All right, everybody take a quick break. I was like,
Yeah, that's
perfect.
something people don't know neither.
Yep, yep. And then of course they're like, all right, everybody go back to the position that you were in before. I'm like, hell with that. Hands in the pocket, hanging out.
They said you could squat,
I
don't
was taking the
move.
risk. Yeah, I was taking the
But
risk.
speaking of squat,
Man, that was a while. Look at that. Yeah, why did I squat? That had like I don't think we had any plants, but I feel like that girl had to be a plant. What are you doing a squat?
a good technique too.
It is, and look at that depth. That's deeper than I can get on a full squat.
And she held it for about 30 minutes.
Jesus, that's wild. Yeah, yeah. I would have definitely. I mean, I say I would have, but you know, they would have had to take me out on a stretcher, man. I was not getting out in red light, green light.
Seriously.
I had to get to the dorm, and my wife even said it's like you better come back with the money or come back on your shield like dead because you need to go all in to get this money, and I definitely did that.
All right, all right. Okay, so I'm gonna go to your episode that you unfortunately got eliminated in. Episode eight? No, nine. Eight?
uh, End of eight or beginning of nine.
I think so. Is it
I think it was end of eight actually.
end of eight? Okay, yeah, it was. Definitely was.
Yeah, because there's my girl who tried to save me, but it didn't work. Oh,
There we
I
go.
remember that. Oh,
Okay.
oh, oh! I just got chills all of a sudden.
Ugh.
I've been watching this in a long
I'm
time.
sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, so what was your thought process? What was the stress like during this?
So initially, I was frustrated because you know you're similar to me, I believe, in that we're competitors,
Yeah.
right? So I want to compete. And as we watch this, this doesn't look like a competition to me. This looks like a bunch of people standing around rolling a die. And they when they first announced this and announced the rules, and I said, I'm just gonna go chill in my bed, let me know who wins, because it doesn't matter if I'm standing there or not. And that's what frustrated me at first.
Gotcha.
Um, then obviously Mai stepped up as captain, and we had at that point, Mai and I had the full advantage where we could have just taken out whoever we wanted because
Hmm.
we could have handed the die back and forth, nominating whoever we wanted. And we knew that. And obviously, Mai did what she did. Oh, that hurts. Still hurts, bro. Still hurts. We take a deep
I'd
breath.
say this is one of the most emotional eliminations here because when I watched it, I was, people laughed about it, and it was like, why are they so serious and so emotional? But the bond y'all had was deep, and
Two,
and, and
286,
my
287.
yeah,
Day one,
and my like she felt like she was. I think this is just my opinion. I think that she felt like she was alone after that.
for sure. Yeah.
And I could see, man, it hurt. Oh, that's tough to see.
Yeah.
God,
And by this time, and as you know, because you made it far as well, you just start building more and more relationships and deeper relationships with people.
hmm
And at that moment, I felt like I let my down because as you feel, I feel as well. Like she was our girl, we were her protectors.
yeah,
Although she's stronger than both of us combined.
facts.
Um, so yeah, I felt I felt terrible for my obviously I felt like I let all my people down that have fought for me, Brownie, Figgy, Cookie, all the people that got me there. And then all the sacrifices my people back home, people at my law firm, my family, all the things they put up with because we were gone for weeks
Yeah,
and no cell phone, no internet, nothing. So I was just over there hanging out. And then my initial thought when I rolled the six, the lawyer in me was like, all right, how do I fix this? Right? Like, how do I not walk out that door? So that's my initial reaction. That's why you just see me looking up because I certainly don't want to put anything on tape that I don't wouldn't make my mama proud.
yeah, yeah.
And I'm just thinking like there has to be a way. I made it this far. I'm top 10. And there were seven other people that had a role before it came back to me. That's the other thing they didn't show.
Wow. Well,
Seven
I
people.
mean, so if you didn't roll a six, they would have to go all over again until how
Correct.
many people were eliminated?
Three. So two were already eliminated.
Okay.
I already rolled once and I was good. And I rolled three times before that and I didn't get a six, but it bounced outside of the rope too. They didn't show that either.
You rolled 3 times before that?
Yeah, and I got a one, a three, and a two.
Wow.
Yeah. And they didn't show that. So the odds were actually on my side, and but it doesn't matter because I rolled a six, and then I was just so gutted, man, to fight that hard and to roll a six, and that's the way you get out. I was interviewed by Netflix as you were when we were out in LA, and they said, well, what would be a better way to go out? I said, I would have fought every guard in the dorm. I would rather fight every guard in the dorm. And if I lose, I'm out. Right. And they were like, but there's so many guards. I go, but it'd still be more fun than standing there rolling a die and just getting out by luck. Like
Got that.
if the guards beat me up, that's on me.
Yeah.
And I even offered, I said, as a final challenge, I'll do tug of war, me versus the other nine in the dorm. Winner takes
Hey,
all. Let's go.
I'm 95% sure you would have won.
Right?
Like, and it was
Especially
literally
with
like,
4 point. 4.56 on the line, man, I'll turn into the Hulk real quick.
That's too funny. Yeah, you know what? I sincerely had no idea they made y'all roll that much. I had no idea. Obviously, I was gone at that point, and right now, like after episode 7, I'm a spectator.
Yeah,
So, you know, it was hard to see you go like that because in my mind, like you said, we're like-minded in that we're competitors, and I would rather go out by a game than that.
100%. 100%, man. Like I I, I loved and I'm sure you did as well, marbles.
Mm,
Marbles was awesome. And I went up against R. Kelly, who we're cool. We're cool, and we've actually become better friends since the show. But it wasn't like, me and Mai or me and Cookie, me and Figgy, like where or me and Brownie, where it would have been really emotional going up against like Mai. With R. Kelly, we were like, look, we're gonna play beer pong. Winner takes it. Our game was done in like less than a minute. We were just bop, bop,
oh,
bop.
really?
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of nervous energy too because we just
Mm.
like, all right, go, all right, go. And luckily I got into the rhythm early and he actually caught up late and it ended up being a closer game, but I knocked in a few early and that was great. But like again, that's it's a silly competition, but it's still a competition. It's a real competition that takes some skill. Um, yeah, but standing there, I mean, that was the worst feeling.
How long did that take overall, do you think? A few hours?
Yeah, I would say it probably took about 2 hours.
That's crazy. I was rolling
Yeah,
dice for 2 hours.
2 hours standing around. People kept rolling and it would bounce outside of the rope. It made it all the way around, and they don't show Mai actually rolled again and she picked herself, but that's just between us. Uh, and then it made it all the way back around. So yeah, so it started with what 12? Yeah, it started with 12 people. And I think this game wasn't necessarily planned because on Glass Bridge, we actually beat the odds.
What you
If
mean?
you if you count the number of people that should have survived, it should have been 10, but 12 made it because Trey picked right a couple times.
That makes too
And
much sense.
and obviously you didn't help those odds.
Oh man.
I you It was so, and I know we're talking about my ending, but it was so quick. You give
I
this
was
speech.
just it said boom, boom, done. I was like, oh,
I was in shock. I was like, hold on, it's just that's it. I was like, can we at least like give a little speech or something? No, it's like eliminated. Boom.
bye. I was like, sheesh. But when I did get eliminated, I ate that whole box of chocolates.
I'm sure. And I know you saw on Glass Bridge where when I was up there, I definitely took my time. I was like, man, I saw how quickly everybody else is going. I'm gonna take a second here. I'm gonna inspect everything. I'm gonna ask people in the back. It's like,
Yeah,
my, what are we looking at here? Because I knew if anybody had it, she had it,
yeah.
and I don't know, they didn't really show this either. She actually tried to come up and jump.
Really?
Um, yeah, yeah. She wanted to take over and jump, even though she had 20, right?
Yeah.
You gave her 20.
Uh-huh.
So she volunteered to go up and jump. And I said, Mai, and I'm yelling back to her, I said, Mai, I promise if you try to overtake me, I'm gonna jump on all of these until I get out.
She's so crazy. You
Yeah,
crazy
just
to
stand
think that
back there
through.
and advance to the next round. That's it.
Wow. Wow. I think that our protector spirit, we both had the foresight to know that Mai was special.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, from day one, and I'm glad they showed where I was talking to two of the guys, and they said, "Well, who's the biggest challenge in here, or who's the biggest threat?" I was like, "Mai's number one." And they're like, "Wait, little Mai?" I'm like, "She's a killer,"
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and the game, as it showed, the game wasn't about how much brute strength you have or anything like that. It was mental, 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 and obviously a little
Yeah,
bit of luck. A little bit of luck helps as well, but it was very, very mental, and she's one of the toughest, mentally tough people I knew, and I still know to this day.
exactly when she, y'all was obviously tent mates before Red Light Green Light, but I met her the second day and she told me her story. I'm like, this sounds like something out of like a movie. Like what?
Yeah, and actually, it would be even with this part added to it, it would be a great movie,
It
right?
would.
You got to tell the whole story now. Now she's a multimillionaire, and obviously has a beautiful family, and yeah, it's a wonderful story. And
Yeah.
I was fortunate that even my whole line, even 285, 286, 287, 288. Brownie was in my 10 as well, 258. So like day one or before day one, I got to meet some of my best friends in this world, and fortunately, all of them made it through red light, green light as well. So we reconnected in the dorms, and we had our number groups together, and that's the other thing that people don't realize how many hours that we spent together on the bus, in the tents, on the bus again, waiting for our pizza or burger or vegan burger or whatever it was. So there was just so much time that we're spending with each other. So when you see those tears, I know people are like, it's not real, it's not real. I promise you, um, every second of it was real. And I'm surprised as well that once we got out, because some of the producers and whatnot, when we were doing the Miz, would tell, well, how do you know Mikey's telling you the truth about his kids? How do you know that Mai's telling the truth about this? And I'm like, no, they definitely are. And they're like, you can't be sure this is reality TV. I was like, no, these are real people. I can tell. And fortunately, all the people that I trusted were the exact same person that I knew outside of the game that they were in the game.
Yeah, they try to get me to bash other people in my final mid. And I'm like, no, they are real. Like
Yep.
I'm a good judge of character, and everybody that I invested in, they were real, and I'm not doing that. They say, oh, it's reality TV. I'm not doing that.
I love my and you know how they gave you the notes of what was coming up. Where you got that phone call before where they give you notes. Hey, by the way, you're gonna be shown in this. Just
Yeah.
so just be ready. And they're like, we got a negative moment for you in here. And I was like, negative moment? What are you talking about? They're like, yeah, remember when TJ was elected captain unanimously? And then I was like, oh man, what did I say? And they were like, no, it's a great scene. You're gonna love it. And still to this day, not my captain. Like everybody knows he is not my captain. Even your sister now.
The best thing about that was I had no idea. I
I
was like, all right.
that was
And the thing
funny,
is,
man.
my wife, Sam, was upset, but I was laughing because I'm like, this happens.
I promise you, like I literally rolled out of bed. I was like, what the hell's going on? And then I hear you giving your speech, which I'm used to, but at that point I'm used to you giving speeches, whatever. And then he's like, I just appreciate all of you unanimously voting for me, Captain. I was like, hold on. I didn't get a vote. I was asleep.
I was too, hey, like, and the crazy thing was, it was picking, like, when I picked my picked you, we were just spectators after that.
Yeah.
We couldn't do
Well,
anything about it.
well, think about it with me though, because you still had teammates in the game. Mai was my only true teammate at that point because we got destroyed in warships.
Ships.
Yeah, I lost everybody but Mai.
Wait, y'all lost?
Yeah, Brownie was our captain, and Daryl was the co-captain, and Figgy got out, Kwame got out, Cookie was already out. And, like all my people got out in warships, and that's why I came back and I was depressed
I
coming
mean,
back.
remember I checked on you because I knew
Yes.
you lost everybody. I say, hey man, you good?
Yeah, and I wasn't I definitely was not in a good place. And I even told him, I said, look, let Brownie come back in, I'll go out.
Wow.
And they said they went back and talked to Brownie and she said no, which she would have said anyway. But they didn't talk to her. They just lied to me about that.
Yeah.
And they tried to get me hyped up to go back in. And I just ended up in bed. And there was like a day or two that went by where we didn't do anything. And I just basically stayed in bed because that was rough. So going back to the chain of trust or trust chain or whatever they call it, the only reason I picked Mikey was because I didn't really know him that well, but he stopped by while I was sitting there, told me a little bit about his story, his kids, his family, and a little background about him. And he was best friends with Kyle, who's in Fort Lauderdale. He was part of my Fort
Gotcha.
Lauderdale group.
Kyle Chris
Christensen.
Christensen. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yep. So Kyle told me, hey, by the way, because he was going up against Mikey in marbles.
Oof.
He's like, if I don't make it, look out for my boy Mikey. I was like, all right, cool. So I talked to Mikey for a while, and I had a tough choice because I was actually cool with Dan. I was cool with Dan basically from day one, and Dan's still mad about this that I didn't pick him because he said you got me right, and I gave him a little nod or whatnot. You know, I knew he had his little gang boo gang, so he wasn't gonna pick me anyway.
Yeah.
He had his team. I knew for me it was really my or die.
Like literally, literally, and
So,
like I had my choices. I was thinking like, should I choose him? Should I choose her? Should I say, you know what? I want to make it easy on myself. I want to choose mine.
yep. Yeah, so and that's a tough position to be in too, because again, you build these relationships with everybody, and you're like, well, everybody deserves a shot, but the game is what the game is, and people are going to get eliminated, and that whole woman uh, uh, where they
Listen,
all got together. I'm glad my stuck by our guns and said, no, I've been with this guy from day one. I'm gonna stick with him because I understand why they did it, but if I would have been really upset if one of my best friends in the game was like, no, all of a sudden I'm gonna switch. We're gonna do
mhm.
women power because what for whatever reason. And you were my day one because I definitely would never do that to anybody if a bunch of guys got together and were like, hey, let's get the women out.
Can you
Which
imagine like the scene that would create? Can you imagine that?
I would not be part of that.
No way. No way.
Talk
Absolutely
about
not.
cancel. Talk about canceled.
No
And
way.
think about you as a as a women's basketball coach.
That would have been insanity.
Yeah, you gotta start a new career.
Yo, that would have been crazy because I like, okay, so there were many people, many players pissed about that, right?
Yeah, and I think rightfully so. I mean, if you had a relationship with someone up there and they didn't pick you just because of your gender, and they picked somebody they didn't really know or care about because they were like that would bother me.
Yeah, because Mai and Jackie stood by their guns, you
Yeah,
know, and them two, they like we saying like the epitome of strength, standing by your word no matter what, even though you may get ridiculed and still standing by your word, standing by your day ones.
yeah, and there was a narrative that they were trying to push as well that somehow we were trying to get the women out or the games were unfair to women. I didn't see that at all.
At all.
There were. I don't think that my height or weight really benefited me in any way. Um, I wish there would have been tug of war,
Yeah, I wish.
obviously, and I hope they bring us back for season two to maybe for a cameo where we can do tug of war. Um,
Yeah, man.
I just asked ChatGPT again. It still says I beat you in tug of war one on one. By the way, so but yeah, it would be cool to have a cameo in season two and come out and compete a little bit because I love competition, and that was probably my favorite part, other than building the relationships when just walking back and forth in the dorm, meeting people and meeting incredible people like yourself and the people that we were in New York with. 4.56 million is a lot, but honestly, these relationships that I built from it to me are even more important than that.
And 100%, I concur with that. And like we have a bond, a family now, and this family that was created through turmoil and strife and all this stuff, it just made our bond stronger in general.
Yeah, I think what I think Roland called it, what is it, trauma bonding or
Trauma bonding. Trauma bonding. My man Roland.
they
Oh
had to give
man.
us they had to give us trauma bars at the end because we were so depleted of every nutrient and mineral, and I lost 35 pounds.
Same. I lost 36, no, 35, 36 pounds. It was
Wow.
my I remember my Nike Tech outfit. If it was fitted going in and it was hanging off me going out.
Me too. Me too. When I came back, my family, my friends, everyone was like, "What did they do to you?" And you know how when we came back as well, it was like sensory overload. Like we were all just like, "All right, we need things to slow down a little bit because
Yeah.
the TV, the internet, the phones, everything coming back at us all at once, and everybody wanted to talk to us. It's like, all right, we just need to take a second, ease
That's
back
the first.
into
I think
real
that's the
life."
first time in my life I cut off my phone for like a few days.
Yep.
Like yeah, like really cut off my phone.
You have to, like, honestly, it was just overwhelming coming back. And then, I started going back to court immediately and everything. And the judges found out what was going on with me because they started like ordering people to tell me what was happening because they were truly worried about me and why I'm not showing up for hearings and other people are showing up for hearings. So yeah, it was a wild time.
Wow, wow. I didn't tell my mom nothing. Nothing. She was like, and she said, I called Sam and Sam said you went on vacation without her. And I'm like, she said, what the hell kind of husband are you going on vacation without your wife? And I was like, Mom, I didn't. Well, I can't tell you what I didn't do. I didn't know what to say. I turned it to a 10-year-old. I didn't know what to say.
Yeah, there was I had court right before we were leaving, and it was in Jacksonville. So I was in front of this federal court judge, and I was making this passionate argument about something. I was like, "We need an evidentiary hearing on this, that, and the other." He's like, all right, Mr. Van Horn, I'm going to give you your hearing, and it's going to be in 2 weeks from now, and I expect you to bring the evidence and everything you're talking about because you're very passionate about this. Uh, and I'm ordering that you be there as well. And I said, yeah, Judge, I got a little bit of an issue. It's probably going to be my associate. He goes, that's ridiculous. You're so passionate about this. You have to be there. I said, Judge, I really can't commit to being there. I have something else, but I can't really tell you what it is. He goes, what if I order you to tell me what it is? I said, well, I guess I would have to tell you. So he orders me to tell him what it is. And then he goes, only you, Mr. Van Horn. That's ridiculous. Strike that from the record. We'll continue until you get back from wherever you are.
That is funny as he said, only you.
Yep. And again, it's just something that only 456 people from around the world have done. I was the only lawyer on the show, which that's crazy for reality TV, especially a poll of 456 people. So it's an experience that again will never be the same because we were the first class.
Yeah.
So it's really a cool thing.
I think that being that the cast for season two just left, what advice would you have for them, you know, just being them?
Yeah. Well, first off, look out for 286 because he's a beast. So you might want to try to get him out early. Second, these games are going to be more intense and more cutthroat than ours, I believe, for multiple reasons. Obviously, we watched season 2 of the show, which to me seemed more intense and more cutthroat. And they learned from season 1 what worked and what didn't work to turn people against each other. And in general, we didn't turn against each other. We worked together, even Glass Bridge. And if you watch, I didn't even know this was out. Making of Squid Game: The Challenge. Did
Mhm.
you watch it?
I did not. I gotta
Oh
get
yeah,
to
so I didn't know it was out. So it's only 30 minutes. You should watch it.
it. Okay.
But you could tell that some of the producers were not happy that we were working together. They wanted to see us more in conflict instead of, all right, everybody's going to take one jump and then we'll go from there. Because yes, Ashley did take her jump.
That's a
And
fact.
yes, Trey did just lose his mind. I gave Trey a pep talk before the glass bridge. Obviously, it didn't work. Um, so this season too, what I would say first off, be mentally tough. That's the number one. The people that survived were the ones that had life experience and just were mentally tough and ready to go. Two, keep an open mind, be ready for anything because they'll wake you up in the middle of the night. Anything can happen. Three, find your group that you can trust
Mhm.
and hopefully find them early and make sure you vet them because it can be a really, really lonely place in there if you don't have a squad. And then finally, don't create like an all guys group and say
Mhm.
women aren't allowed
Yeah, He-Man woman haters.
because Felicia might be back and she might get you again.
Oh,
So
pew pew. Like to do what she did, it took an insane amount of courage.
gangster.
Like,
And 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 I was happy that we had a group that we had the nice people that try to get along with everybody, and then we had the people that man, if they didn't like you, they're coming for you.
yeah.
And I remember what's his name, Dr. V. I didn't realize people were coming for him like that. I know I know your number was floated out there as well.
Yeah.
And and that's during the everybody has to pick a player
Mhm.
game, but then they switched it up. I think R. Kelly was coming for you, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He definitely was.
Yeah,
And it was just, I
Gangster
think it
game.
switched up because of the disrespect towards Leanne. That switched
Yeah,
up immediately.
yep. Yeah, Leanne, man, talk about gangsters. She's a gangster
Fact.
too, man. She is so tough, man. So yeah, we had a great group, and that was easy for me because I voted for the first guy up because I forget his name right now.
I
But
know
he
who you're
was
talking about. The one who said he wanted to get out of there.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was taunting me and my team after we lost in warships. Yeah, and there's actually a picture of him like walking next to me trying to apologize. I was like, bro, I promise you, I'm going to strangle you if you don't walk
Wow.
away.
Wow.
Because like again, that was probably my lowest moment when I lost all those people.
Mhm.
Obviously, other than getting eliminated myself as
Yeah.
well. And then he was taunting, and I was like, man. And the other side, I had friends on the other side as well because that was Dan and all those guys as
Mhm.
well. I don't know how he ended up on their team, but yeah, that was tough, man.
Wow. Wow. Well, Chad, it was amazing talking to you. Thank you for your time again. Let the people know where they can reach out to you on the socials.
And I'm at CVH Law. That's all my socials. So you can reach out to me. I try to respond to every message. I love my fans. My group is just a solid, respectful group, and I think that's coming from my gameplay. I wish everybody on season two the best of luck, especially me and you, TJ. We're gonna team up this. Oh, I wasn't supposed to tell anybody we're going back.
Whoops. Damn
No, but
it.
in all seriousness, always good getting together with you. And I appreciate everybody out there. Thank you, TJ. And thanks again.
Yes, sir.